I am in love with psychological horror, anything psychological that really messes with your mind, in that desire to help people who haven't been helped before and then start a cycle of change. And I think that's one thing that people may need, even if you don't know that they need it yet. They need to see themselves or in a situation that they've been in on screen. And in that sense, I feel like that's why at least I want to get into it.
Are you ready for this?
No. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. So, Tatiana Coleman, where did you grow up? How old are you?
I was born and raised in Northridge, which is in LA. I totally forgot the other questions. Oh, I'm 21.
What have you been doing in your film career up to this point?
My first year was at William & Mary, and I was obviously studying film studies at that time, and I got to make some fun films for my classes, and one of them was about being a first generation college student. Another one was about this girl, this college student who has no memory of anything in her life and then sees a psychologist in order to gain those memories back. But then they end up switching by the end of it, and she has all of his memories. And that was short film that we did for my classes, which is really fun. Summer of 2022, I started video editing, volunteering with this nonprofit called Amplify, where they basically bring a voice to underrepresented communities by giving them speaker circles. I started off by editing one of their speaker circles, which is about those who were incarcerated and coming out of that. And then they've done issues such as like sexual assault, human trafficking, mental health, and breast cancer awareness. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. I kind of volunteering with them for the past 2 years. Around the same time, I also was a video editor and content creator for a organization called Bra Recyclers, where they recycle used and new bras and give them to people in need. And so that was kind of what was happening in that summer. And then going into my sophomore year, I was part of this program where I could do 1 year at William & Mary, 2 years at the University of St. Andrews, and then 1 year back at William & Mary my senior year. So that sophomore year I was going to the University of St. Andrews, and I immediately got involved in a subcommittee of the university called BAME, Black, Asian, Minority, Ethnic Committee. And through that I was the visual content creator, so I kind of went to all the events, kind of videographed and photographed a lot of different parts of it, a lot of different people, events, created some content for them. That was kind of how that year went with it. But then through the St. Andrews Filmmaking Club, I met someone named Junko who had told me about a script that she was working on called The Rich Grave Girls. And then in the spring of 2023, she asked me again if I would be willing to help her work on it. So I said yes, and I was a director of photography, and so I worked very closely with her to kind of create the vision, create the short film that was eventually sent out to different festivals and was shown at a lot of different places, which was really cool. And so after my sophomore year, I got an internship with the Illinois Farm Bureau as a video intern. So that summer I was spent in Illinois, basically traveling all around, going to different cities, from Chicago to the southern end of Illinois. I was able to go to events, do interviews with people all across the state, and that was a great experience. I got very comfortable with every aspect of filmmaking, with video cameras, with interviews, lighting setups, audio, all that, editing. And it really was it really was an enlightening experience, and one that I'm very grateful for. And I'm very happy that they immediately threw me into the filmmaking process, and they did not hold back. So it was very hands-on, and I learned so much from that experience. And But as that year was coming to an end, I kind of knew that I didn't want to continue my film studies at the University of St. Andrews because I didn't think it was for me, and I thought William & Mary was a better fit. So I ended up dropping that program that I was supposed to do, and I decided to go back to William & Mary my junior year. But when I kind of knew that, I knew that I wanted to create a space for students at William and Mary to get involved in filmmaking, because after being part of a filmmaking club at St. Andrews, it felt so nice to be part of this community of people who were uplifting each other and creating crews and kind of encouraging each other to pursue filmmaking. I knew that I really wanted to make more opportunities for people in filmmaking because William and Mary didn't really have a filmmaking club, but at the University of St. Andrews they did, and then I saw how much of a community that it created. I contacted some friends and they were very happy to help me work on this filmmaking club, and so now there is a filmmaking club at William and Mary called Remake Filmmakers, and what we do is that we are kind of a beginner to intermediate level club. So we teach people different aspects of filmmaking, and then also have an opportunity, also give them opportunities to create their own crews and create short films. And I got in contact with the producer of a film festival in our area near my school called the Ampersand International Arts Festival. And he said that we could have our own screening at the Ampersand Festival. So We Make Filmmakers had our own red carpet themed event where we screened 5 short films, one of which was mine, that was called Listen. And then that was just a great way to end off our year. And that was kind of the bulk of my junior year, was kind of starting as finding a club, being the president, kind of learning how to do the club meetings. And so coming into the summer of 2024, I had applied for a grant, a artistic grant at William & Mary, and I am very honored to have been awarded this grant in order to participate in a 4-week filmmaking program at the New York Film Academy in LA. So for all of July, basically, I was spent learning every aspect of film production from industry professionals, from directing, editing, screenwriting, cinematography, all of it. And I was able to make a whole bunch of mini projects and concluded with one called Orion's Knife.
Yeah, just feel free to talk about it. Director Tatiana Coleman.
So the 2 films I worked on this year was Listen and Orion's Knife. So the first one, Listen, which I was the director, writer, and producer for, was done earlier this year, and it was actually one of the ones shown at the Ampersand International Arts Festival. And that one is about a boy who cannot stop listening to music, because if he stops listening to music, then he starts to hear things. That film kind of explores like the topic of blame and self-forgiveness, and that one was a great shoot to be on, especially because I met everyone on the crew was people from our club. Everyone was so eager to work on it. Everyone was so enthusiastic, and it was amazing because being surrounded by people like that who were just so passionate was such a great experience. And I think just one of the new things for me was being a producer and kind of organizing everything, from timetables to schedules, etc. It was definitely a huge challenge that I did not realize was going to be so difficult because I'm not really used to producing, but it really gave me a new perspective on it. And then Orion's Knife, which was my final project at the New York Film Academy, is about 2 best friends where one kind of has this perfect life, and then the other has a life that's like has much more struggle in it, and her kind of yearning for the life of the other. And so that one was kind of an exploration of betrayal and like love and friendship. And I feel like that one was one of my favorite projects to work on because everyone, even though it was a very small cast and crew, people were very eager to kind of portray, especially the actors were very eager to portray these characters as well as possible, especially because there was no dialogue. We weren't allowed to have dialogue. And the song, which is actually one of my friend's song, Owen Cassidy, I knew that I wanted to use that song of his because it just resonated with me of this, and I could see very easily this story of friendship or the story of betrayal that I knew I wanted to portray. So, and that was what the assignment was, and I'm very happy with how it all turned out, especially because I didn't say what I was, especially because I was the director, writer, producer, and editor. And so I really got full creative control and in every step of the process, but it was ultimately very rewarding. And then the third one, Lonely Dancers. I kind of want to mention it.
You mentioned it, go ahead. Just say it was like something fun.
Yeah, then we have the third one. My friend, Natalie Lawson, and we directed together. We decided to do this music video mainly for fun because we both love this song, Lonely Dancers by Conan Gray. And she was kind of interested in kind of developing her animation, her and like her editing, and then I really wanted to learn more about like directing, and then also music video directing because it's a bit different than normal storytelling. And then
you were the actor. Oh.
And then because I knew I should know more about the other side of the camera, I decided I would also act in it, which was also a very new experience. One that I think it was rewarding, and especially with this upcoming year, I hope to do a little more acting. So then I can understand what it's like to be on that side. But ultimately, that music video too was another fun project that I was able to work on this summer with my best friend.
Like in our lifetime, like what impact do you want to see?
I think I want people to find the courage to start their own things and create, and not be afraid to create things that they might think that they'll be afraid of because they don't think that they can. Because I feel like that's what I've been doing my entire life, not feeling like I could do it, but knowing that other people won't. So then I have to be the one to take that change and make a change. I think that's what I hope with whatever I decide to do in filmmaking. That's what I hope that will come across in that desire to help people who haven't been helped before, and then start a cycle of change in that sense.
Who are you in film, basically?
I think other than the part of me that loves to tell people stories and like talk about these real issues that people don't typically touch upon, I am in love with psychological horror, anything psychological that really messes with your mind. And that I think a lot of that really started from Mike Flanagan, who is easily my biggest inspiration because I love the way that he tells stories. The first film I watched was Oculus, that was directed by him. And the way that he can tell two stories simultaneously, but they're taking place at different times, and then having the stories weave together, so then at the very end everything makes sense, but also there's some type of interpretation at the end. It's absolutely beautiful. And so then I followed him with Haunting of Hill House, and then all of his haunted series and Midnight Mass, etc. All of those, they follow the same kind of pattern of telling these stories not chronologically and keeping the viewers guessing what's going to happen, while also having a very clear and distinct story that he's following and that we're following along with him. And so that's the type of point I want to get to, is to tell those types of stories.
Mm. What do you think makes a good director?
I think a good director is one who can create a vision and then accurately portray that vision to everyone else, but then also allowing people to share their own creative interpretations and insights, because art is so subjective that if you have 100 people staring at the same thing, you're going to get different interpretations. And so understanding where these interpretations come from is very, very important in the creative process. And because the director is in charge of everything, at least when it comes to film, I believe that having more input and being open to other people's thoughts is very important, while also not minimizing what the original plan was of the director. I think that really makes a good director. And then treating people well.
What is your favorite part of directing, and what's the hardest part?
My favorite part is definitely creating the vision, is coming up with every aspect of a film, making everything look beautiful, making everything like telling a story in a unique way, and having like my own voice and my own way of storytelling. In that sense, that's my favorite part of it. I think the hardest part is knowing exactly what to say to get that vision across, because you want everyone to be on the same page, but if one person isn't, then it can kind of mess up the flow of everything. And so making sure that everyone understands and making sure that I'm able to accurately say it correctly can be pretty difficult, because some people can interpret things I say differently than what I meant. So then I have to be patient and figure out what I'm saying wrong, so then they can all understand what I'm trying to portray. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. We go into our industries because we want to make change, right? Like, mm-hmm. We're passionate, and that is what sets you apart from your peers. And so I guess I'm just trying to get at what is it that's in you that, like, I mean, why care so much? And, like, what's the point? What's the point of caring so much? What's the point of trying so hard? What do you want to see? Like, what are you trying to get to?
I feel like there are a lot of kids who kind of go through their life with dreams, but then usually those dreams kind of fade, either because of external forces or just they are no longer motivated with it. And I feel like if people are given the opportunity to see that it is possible to achieve their dreams, I think that's something that a lot of kids should experience. A lot of kids should never give up on. And I feel like one thing in filmmaking is that you have to be passionate and you have to want it in order to succeed. And through the lens of film, you can kind of show a whole bunch of different stories, whole bunch of different perspectives. And I think that's one thing that people may need, even if you don't know that they need it yet. They need to see themselves or in a situation that they've been in on screen. And in that sense, I feel like that's why at least I want to get into it, is like kind of to make it about those people who have never seen themselves on the screen or have never seen their situation, or who want to see it or want to be something more than what they already live in, and kind of give people that opportunity in order to kind of create more hope throughout the world. That's kind of the goal, maybe.
I think that's incredible. Was there a time where film, like, was really meaningful to you or gave you that hope, or do you just see it as, like, something you can use to create hope, or do you feel like it's already done that for you in your lifetime and that's why you believe in it?
Mm-hmm. I think to some extent it has, even if it isn't a situation that relates directly to me. It's like there are these stories that haven't been told, and so then when I would see it on the big screen, it like I just emotionally resonated with it in a way that other people maybe did not, like the film The Hate You Give. I don't know why. That was like one film that really showcased what the Black community can be like, but also in just a very truthful and honest way that I don't think people still, they don't believe that still exists, but it does. And so it's films like that where these directors just have this perfect vision, execute it so well. So then, in that sense, it gives me the hope to create stories like that to make someone else feel that type of way as well. And that's where we're at now. And then the senior year, it'll be more of the filmmaking club and hopefully more film projects.
And where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'll be 26. My film career will start to take off. Hopefully I'll be working on more projects. Hopefully I'm still directing. That's kind of the goal. But I really want to start creating those bigger productions with more people, more funding, stuff like that. So whatever way that'll be, hopefully I will still be directing some type of film in that sense.
Okay, that was great.